بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. من يهدي الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sisters, my dear daughters. Welcome back to a new episode of Asma'ullah al-Husna, beautiful names of Allah. I miss all of you for the last week that we took it as a whole day. Hope that every one of you is in the best health and in the best mood, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us all, and for those who are sick, that Allah send his shifa and speed recovery for them, and those who passed away, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send his forgiveness and mercy on them. Today, inshallah, we're going to have a new episode of Beautiful Names of Allah. And as usual, we begin with our hadith, the hadith sent to us by the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. Verily, Allah has 99 names, 100 but one. Whosoever knows each and every one of them, which means believing in them, works according to them, enter the paradise. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that to write our names on those people who are studying and getting benefits of the names of Allah. Alhamdulillah, this episode is the last episode in year 2020. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our good deeds in this year, and to help us to complete, inshallah, the rest of the names. We've been now around 9 months since we started last March. Subhanallah, we'll have 3 months. We'll next March, inshallah, if we have the Umr, we'll finish 1 year in studying the beautiful names of Allah. And this is a big favor, and it is a huge mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he guided us for this way. And the best thing in these days to spend our time in remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, studying his names, his attributes, to be more and more near to him, and the result will be that tranquility and serenity will be sent down to our heart, inshallah. Today we have around 3 names. The first 2 names of beautiful names of Allah today is ALWAHID-ALAHD. ALWAHID-ALAHD. Al-Wahid, the one. Al-Ahad, the only one, or the unique. The unique and the only one is Al-Ahad, and Al-Wahid is the one. Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Zubaydah joined us. More than welcome. We're going to have now the meaning of the name of Allah, Al-Wahid, Al-Ahad, and they are firmly associated to each other. Those 2 names, Al-Wahid, Al-Ahad, meanings came from the root word from Wahada, Waw, Ha, and Dal, or Wahada. Al-Wahid means has the one who has no partner. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always been, and he is, and always been one, without anyone else with him. Al-Wahid, he is the one who can neither be divided nor duplicated, according to the scholar Al-Ghazali. So Al-Wahid is the one who has no partner, and without anyone else with him. He is and always been like that, one, and he is neither be divided nor duplicated. Al-Ahad is the completely unique. He is the only one that no one is comparable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is completely unique. There is no one like him. Like him in what? Like him in his being, just as he is unique in his attributes, his actions, his lordship. All these things belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is unique to him. No one is comparable to him ever in these attributes and his names and his actions and his lordship. So he is the one and only one who deserves to be worshipped. So again, the difference between Al-Wahid is the one that has no partner and always been like that. He is and always been one. Al-Ahad is the unique. His oneness is unique. Unique in everything, in his attributes, in his names and his action. Now we'll come to how to know the names of Allah Al-Wahid in Quran. In Quran, if you search for the name of Allah Al-Wahid, we'll find that 6 times came in Quran. 6 times Al-Wahid. The first one in Surah Yusuf, Ayah 39, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning, "O two companions of the prison, are many different lords better or Allah? The one, the subduer." The subduer. So in Arabic, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya sahibai as-sijni a'arbabun mutafarriquna khayrun am Illahul wahidul qahhar. So here the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came Al-Wahid when the Prophet Yusuf was having a conversation between him and the prisoners when he was in the prison. And they asked him for just clarifying the dreams, the 2 dreams they had. And before going to the tafsir of their, or the explanation of their vision or ru'ya, he started to invite them to Islam. And we mentioned that Islam is the religion of all the prophets, since Prophet Ibrahim till Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So he was telling them, he was trying to make them think, their mind to think, are many different lords better or Allah? So here he is discussing the issue of oneness of Allah. When you have one ilah, when you have one God, this is the better, it is the best thing to have. The best thing is to have one Lord to obey, one Lord to direct all your feelings, all your obedience, all your deeds to him, not having many gods. So he's trying to alert their attention about that issue. That's why the beautiful name of Allah here, Al-Wahid, the one, came with another beautiful name we took before, the subduer, Al-Qahhar. Al-Qahhar came with Al-Wahid. Is this the first time? We'll see. In Surah Ar-Ra'd, ayah number 16, say Allah is the creator of all things. He is the one, the subduer. So again, here Allah is mentioning for Prophet Muhammad to say that Allah is the creator of all things. He is the one, Al-Wahid, the subduer, Al-Qahhar. So again, Al-Wahid, Al-Qahhar came again in Surah Ar-Ra'd, ayah number 16. Again, in ayah number 48 in Surah Ibrahim, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning, on the day the earth will be replaced by another earth, and the heavens as well, and all creature will come out before Allah, the one, the subduer. Allah here is mentioning about the day of judgment, or Yawm al-Qiyamah. Yawm al-Qiyamah, where the earth will be replaced by another one, and the heaven also. All the people will come out before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one, the subduer, Al-Wahid, Al-Qahhar. All the creatures will be directed towards one ilah, or one God, Al-Wahid, Al-Qahhar. So now, Al-Wahid, Al-Qahhar came because he is only one God to be worshipped in Surah Yusuf. It came in Surah Ar-Ra'd that he is the one creator of all things. So he is Al-Wahid Al-Qahar. Now it came in Surah Ibrahim during the day of judgment. All the people will be directed, all the creatures actually, not only the people, to the one God, Al-Wahid Al-Qahar. Here again in Surah Sad, ayah number 65. Say, Ya Muhammad, I am only a warner and there is no ilah, no God, except Allah, the one, the subduer. Again, Al-Wahid Al-Qahar came during da'wah, invitation to Islam. When you are inviting someone to Islam, you are inviting him to worship God, one subduer, the one, the subduer. So again, the two names came together, Al-Wahid Al-Qahar. In Surah Az-Zumar, ayah number 4, had Allah desired to have a child, he would have selected whatever he so willed from whatever he created. Highly exalted is he. He is Allah, the one, the subduer. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that Allah is one, only one. And if he desired to have a child, he will select it of whatso willed from whatsoever he created. But this didn't happen and will not happen because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because Allah is the one subduer, the one, the subduer. Usually, when we are thinking about children, if you have child, you may think that your child will help you when you get older, or he will be like defend you or responsible for you when you got old and these things, because we will become old, will become weak. So we need our children in a certain period of time. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that, he doesn't need anyone. All of us need Allah, but Allah doesn't need anyone because he is Al-Wahid Al-Qahar, the one, the subduer. Here in Surah Ghafir, the sixth place of name of Allah, Al-Wahid, in ayah 16, the day when they emerge, nothing about them is hidden from Allah. To whom does the dominion belong today? To Allah, the one, the subduer. This speech goes to the kings, presidents, any authority, managers, CEO, whatever, that any person who has authority, whatever the level of this authority in life or in dunya, when they will be returned back to Allah, that all the dominion, all the authority will belongs to whom? Al-Wahid Al-Qahar, the one, the subduer. So actually, subhanallah, the 6 times that Al-Wahid Al-Qahar came associated together in Quran of different scene, as we are seeing now, the different views, sometimes during da'wah, sometimes during the day of judgment, all the people directed towards Al-Wahid Al-Qahar, Al-Khaliq, or the creator, the one creator of all these creatures is Al-Wahid Al-Qahar. The comparison between Al-Wahid and different gods, which is better? Comparison between Al-Wahid and one who have a child, or may, if you want to have a child, but subhanahu wa ta'ala an dhalika, he will never and will not have child. So every scene, every ayah in the 6 previous places, it gives us a different view of Al-Wahid. How Al-Wahid is always associated with Al-Qahar, and Al-Qahar is a subduer. And this is very interesting, actually, subhanallah, that because in our life, Sometimes when we say about someone that he is wahid, he's just one, how could he do? He just one. How he's going to having power or having authority or having it, the one with the tribe, the one with many people, with many relatives, with many friends. So he is strong. But what about the one? The one, he will not be that strong. This is our concept if we are thinking about each other. If you say one person, one lady, one girl, or whatever. But when we are speaking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's mentioning, don't think me like you, because I am the one, but at the same time, I am the subduer. So the subduer is the irresistible. The subduer is the prevailing. The subduer that no one can stand in front of him. The all-powerful. The most strong, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Al-Qahhar. So when we mentioning Al-Wahid, doesn't mean that Al-Wahid is weak. That's why all the time it's associated with Al-Qahhar. And on the contrary, when we are speaking about the name of Allah, Al-Qahhar, Al-Qahhar, why it was associated with Al-Wahid? Because again, in our life, when you are speaking about someone who is subdued, so because of his money, because of his wealth, and he has a lot of people around him, a lot of bodyguards, for example, a lot of friends, a lot of tribe, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is the subduer, although he is one. So although he is the one, but he is a subduer, and although he is the one, he is all the power with him, all the power, all the authority with Allah, and having all the power and the authority doesn't need someone to help him, although he is the one, but he has everything and every authority, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the beauty of the association of the two names, Al-Wahid, Al-Qahhar. I hope it was clear for you. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That point is very interesting. I hope it is clear for all of you. Now we come to the name of Allah, Al-Ahad. Al-Ahad, the unique or the only one. Al-Ahad came only one time in Surah Al-Ikhlas. Surah Al-Ikhlas, very precious surah, and we'll come to this surah in details within minutes. In Ayah 1 in Surah Al-Ikhlas, Allah is mentioning, say, Qul, He is Allah. Qul huwa Allahu Ahad, who is uniquely one. Uniquely one. One in what? In His perfect names, in His attributes, in His actions, in His right to be worshipped. So this is the place where the name of Allah as being the unique, the only one, and the unique. Now we'll come to the benefits of living with Al-Wahid Al-Ahad. Number one, as usual, we are saying, and all over the past episodes, we mentioned that from the great benefits that we learn to call Allah by His name, to call Allah by His name. Here we have Al-Wahid Al-Ahad. When I make dua, I say, Ya Wahid, Ya Ahad. When we call Allah by His name, Al-Wahid Al-Ahad, with complete faith that you are calling the one and only one, nothing compared to Him and to His will and to His power. This is very important to have this belief, my sisters and my daughters. Very important to have this solid belief in our hearts, because we need to ask ourselves, is Allah one in my life? Do I direct everything to Him, from fears and hopes to needs? Everything I need and I fear and I hope, is Allah is the first resort I go? Is Allah is the first thing to come in my mind? This is very important. I need every one of us to think about this question. Is Allah one in my life? Do I direct everything to Him first? Does He come to my mind first when I have fear, when I have hope, when I have any needs? Realizing that He is one is to know that there is no love like His love. And there is no one who gives like Him. So this is important. We took love when Allah loves you. We took it in the name of Allah, the most loving, Al-Wadud. We mention Al-Wadud. When Allah loves you, what you will have? You will have everything with beauty in your life. You will hear what Allah wants you to hear. You will see what Allah wants you to see. You will say what Allah wants you to say. And everyone will accept you. يُوضَعْ لَهُ الْقَبُولُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. The acceptance, to be accepted by the people. To find people helping you and you don't know why they are helping. To find people smiling to you and maybe not smiling to others. Why? This is the signs of Allah love. Signs of Allah love are many things we mentioned before. Knowing that He is Al-Wahid-Al-Ahad reminds us that this life is about Him. He is the owner of whole universe. And from this universe, we are one of them, of His creatures. And He owns us. But He honored us by giving us free decision maker, making us free decision maker to choose between right and wrongs. So we have to know that our ultimate goal should be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This life is temporary. Its joy and its pain will disappear. And the real life will be in Jannah or hellfire, wal-'a'idhu billah. In Surah Al-Fajr, Allah mentioned about the disbeliever when he faced the hellfire in front of him, wal-'a'idhu billah, what he will say? He will say, يَا لَيْتَنِي قَدَّمْتُ لِحَيَاتِي. I wished that I did something for my life. Which life? The life, the Jannah. He just saw the Jannah in front of him and he found himself will go to the hellfire, wal-'a'idhu billah. And he will be eternal. It will be forever. So this is the real life. At that time, he start to regret all what happened in his life and say, يَا لَيْتَنِي قَدَّمْتُ لِحَيَاتِي. So hayati, my life. Where is my life? My life is not here. My life is there in Jannah. So here is a time to invest. How to invest for there. How to put, as we mentioned before, I have to increase my account in the hereafter, not my bank account here. My real account in the hereafter. I have to increase my account by doing the good deeds in this life, that when we go there, I found my life, my real life. I found my account there is higher. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase our account here, there in Jannah, inshallah. Another point in getting benefits from living with Al-Wahid-Al-Ahad, sincerity. Since He is Al-Ahad, we should direct our intention towards His pleasure and love. Everything we are doing should be for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to take rewards from Allah. This is very important. My sisters, my daughters, especially who are studying, even if you have the intention during your studies that you are doing that for the sake of Allah and for the sake of Islam and to be a good young lady, Muslim, whatever your position in the society or in the community, it will be for the sake of Allah and to represent Islam in the best shape and in the best way. Be sure that every second you are spending during your study will be counting your good deeds. Intention is very critical. Intentions and the motivations to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can make a very small deed huge like a mountain. And on the contrary, wal-'a'idhu billah, maybe people are doing many things and at the end, in the hereafter, they didn't find anything because they have some wrong in intention. They do that for the sake of people, for the sake of praising, to be praised by others, to be say, oh, mashallah, she's good. Oh, mashallah, she's. It's very dangerous. Take care about your intention, so that we don't see people As a result of that, if we have the intention directed towards Allah, what will happen? We will not see people anymore. We will not see people anymore in terms of their praise or their criticism. I am doing something for the sake of Allah and according to the Quran and Sunnah. Don't care about any praise. Don't care about any criticism. It's all about Allah. If you prevent yourself from doing the right thing because of what people will say or do, the reaction becomes a false idol. Becomes a false idol that you worship alongside Allah. Take care about that. Take care. This will interfere with your sincerity to Allah. If you are thinking about people, if you do right thing, again, if you do the right thing according to Quran and the Sunnah, forget about the people. Forget about the people. Another important point, renew your faith. This is very important. A hadith mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned renew your faith. The companion said, "O Messenger of Allah, how can we renew our faith?" The Prophet ﷺ mentioned, say often, there is no God but Allah. La ilaha illallah. What does it mean? Sometimes you are mentioning La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, many times. What is the difference? So what is the hadith referring to? I will give you an example. Sometimes you are focusing in your prayer. You do maybe one of your best prayer. You think that. And you have a very good mood. Okay? After 1 hour, one of your children come and start to talk to you about problems, wherever the problems in job or in college or in the university. And you start to react with him, and then the other child come or your husband come or some friend call you. Many things happened. So what will happen? Your level of serenity will decrease. It will not be the same as immediately after you finish your prayer. So this is what Prophet ﷺ is mentioning. When the dunya or this world takes over again, we become burdened by its words. Our intentions start to mix once more. This statement will remind us that with this life is really about, what is this life? This life is really about. It will remind us of Allah, Al-Wahid-Al-Ahad. Remember, all the life belongs to Al-Wahid-Al-Ahad. So I say, La ilaha illallah. Stop it, stop worrying. Stop worrying, stop fearing. Because I have one ilah, I have one God. La ilaha illallah. I seek for him, I turn to him. He is the only one. So what will happen? Your particles will be redistributed and be organized again. Your body particles will be distributed and be organized again. And this is what happened during the salah. When you are focusing on your prayer, you found your mode highest. And then by passing time, start to be lower level, until the next salah came, it will save you. That's why Prophet Muhammad all the time say with the companion during the time of the salah, arihna biha ya Bilal, which comfort us with the salah by making the call for the prayer, Bilal. Bilal, of course, is a very famous companion. About subhanallah, we're going to talk to him now about him. He is an Abyssinian Muslim that from the earliest Muslims that embraced the Islam in Mecca, and he was a slave at that time to one of the disbelievers. His name is Umayyah ibn Khalaf. He tortured him too much, and many things. Brought a very huge rock on his chest to make him leave Islam, but he was all the time saying one word. You know what this word? Ahadun ahad. Ahadun ahad. All the time, during all the pain he passed through, the psychological pain, the physical pain, they supposed to leave him in the desert during the summer. You can imagine Saudi Arabia during summer is very hot. and this heavy rock on his chest, heavy rock to the degree that they mentioned that 4 strong men supposed to carry this rock in order because it's too heavy. And this rock was on his chest. And all the time he doesn't say anything except Ahadun Ahad, Ahadun Ahad, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to him, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu wa ardah, he purchased him and then he led him free after that. So Ahadun Ahad has a secret, has a very strong secret during the painful, during an anxiety time, during sadness. Ahadun Ahad, don't forget. The last point we want to say about Al-Wahid-Al-Ahad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He is the unique, He created us as a unique creature, different from other creatures, and He honored us, as we mentioned, not only all the human, but every human Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created is unique in his characters, in his way of thinking. And remember when we talked before about the prints, we mentioned that there is fingerprints, sound prints, eye prints, all these biological prints is unique for every person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created since Adam till the day of judgment, or near the day of judgment. All the people, the trillions and trillions of people Allah created is unique in their fingerprints or in their prints in general, biological, in their DNA. So Allah created us unique. So you have to feel this honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala how the best of you, to show Allah the best of you. And you will find something, every one of us is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted him with something that's completely different from others. So try to search for this gift and work on it best to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we'll come to the second name, who is nearly and very closely associated with the previous name, As-Samad, or the Eternal. As-Samad is the Eternal and the satisfiers of need. The Eternal and satisfier of needs. As-Samad. Al-Imam al-Ghazali is a very prominent scholar with the people of the Sunnah and Jama'ah. He mentioned about As-Samad, he is the one to whom we turn to in need, and the one who is intended in our desires for his ultimate dominion. So one of the meaning of As-Samad is the one who we all turn to him in our needs, As-Samad, and with our desire intended to him. And another name came from the root Samad, which means Samada in Arabic, Sad Mim Dal, Samada, giving the meaning of to remain firm and steadfast. That Allah, from its meaning, the Samad is firm and steadfast. He is a master with absolute sovereignty, to whom all his creatures turn for their needs and for whatever happens to them, and to whom all hearts turn, hoping for his mercy. All the people turning to As-Samad, hoping the Eternal, the satisfier of the needs, hoping for his mercy and fearing his punishment. So As-Samad is the one who we turn to him in our needs. He is our satisfier of the needs, and he is the Eternal. The name of Allah, As-Samad, came only in Surah Al-Ikhlas. Surah Al-Ikhlas say, Ya Muhammad, he is Allah, who is the only one, Ahad, Allah, the eternal refuge, As-Samad, eternal refuge to him. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent. Surah Al-Ikhlas was revealed when the people of Mecca asked the Prophet ﷺ to describe to them his Lord. This surah answers their question and tell them and us about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And actually, this surah is considered to be when you asked about Allah by, for example, non-Muslim, he's telling you, maybe he will telling you, who are you worshiping? You will say, I worship Allah. Who is Allah? So when you want to put a definition, who is Allah? Who is Allah I worship? You will find the answer in Surah Al-Ikhlas. You will mention to him or to her, He is Allah, the only one, Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor there is to him any equivalent. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah is describing his perfection in his names, perfection in his attributes, the perfection in the oneness, his oneness, how he is the only one and the unique one. And also he is the only Lord that the people are in need of him. Describing the perfection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is having no partners, no equivalent, nor there is any comparable or equivalent to him. He's no partner, he's not in need of any supporter. Either he was delivered or he gave birth. He doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have a son, he doesn't have parents. So he is only the one, no partner, and at the same time, he is the satisfier of the needs of the people. The people turns to him. Allah is one and unique, and also he is a Samad, the eternal refuge, that one who is our means and our end. We go to him for our desires. We should also ultimately desire him. This is very important, my daughter and sisters. We go to him for our desires, but we should also ultimately desire him, which means that we doing everything for his sake, for his love, for his pleasure. So we go to him to fulfill our desires. We go only to him, and we do all our deeds for his pleasure. The ultimate desire is his pleasure, his love to us. This is the sincerity. And this is the whole issue of Surah Al-Ikhlas. That's why it mentioned Al-Ikhlas, the name of the surah in Arabic, which in English means sincerity. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned Surah Al-Ikhlas equal to 1/3 of the Quran. If you read Surah Al-Ikhlas 3 times, as if you read the whole Quran. This great rewards is coming from this meaning. If you have sincerity, everything in your life will be corrected. Everything will be corrected. Remember, if you are doing the right thing, according to the Quran and Sunnah, forget about people. Forget about praise or criticism. What we are making our deviation in life actually is people. When they praise you about something, maybe it's not right, it's not what according to Allah ordered and his prophet, you will go through them because they praises you. Maybe after a while they will leave you, but you will already took the wrong way. The same thing, they maybe criticize you because of your hijab, maybe from other thing. Maybe you look not nice by what you are wearing, but they are not right. You have to go even alone. The right, which is the Sirat al-Mustaqim. A Sirat al-Mustaqim is the straight path. The one who is having this straight path in his life will end his life by passing very quickly, inshallah, a Sirat on the hereafter and will enter the Jannah. Who is keeping on the Sirat al-Mustaqim in his life, inshallah, he will enter the Jannah by passing very quickly on the Sirat to Jannah. Remember that. The reason, if you want to know Allah, Surah Al-Ikhlas summarizes his attributes. Thus, knowing name of Allah as-Samad is crucial. How to live with name of Allah As-Samad, turn to Allah for all of our needs. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned you should ask Allah for all of your needs, even the strap, if the strap of your sandal breaks. Imagine if you have something, you are every now and then you are putting on your sandal or your shoes, and if it's break, you just ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help you to fix it, to help you to do. So ask Allah in every aspect of your life. Allah is there for his servants to turn for all their needs. The Prophet ﷺ mentions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yes, Sister Layla, Surah Al-Ikhlas. What I've mentioned is Surah Al-Ikhlas. Al-Ikhlas. You will find it. It is Surah number 112. 112 in Quran. Allah is there for his servants to turn to for all their needs. Indeed, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that Allah descends during the last third of night, asking, is there a person asking? Or a person turning back? Or a person seeking forgiveness from sin? And this continue until the sunrise. Imagine. I want you to imagine that. The last third of night means 3 or 4 hours before Fajr. 3 or 4 hours before Fajr. If now Fajr, for example, is 6 or 15 past 6, so we are speaking about starting from 3 a.m. till 6 a.m. in the morning. This is the last third of night. If you can have 2 rak'ahs, only 2 rak'ahs during this time, and ask Allah for forgiveness, he will forgive you, inshallah. If you want something to happen, something about fear, something you are anxious about, ask Allah and he will respond, inshallah. He is the one who's saying that. This is the message came to us from Allah by his Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. It's hadith sahih. Allah descends during the last third of night, asking, is there a person asking if you want anything from Allah? Person turning back, want repentance from a sin, he want to give up from this sin? Person seeking forgiveness or sin? Come to Allah. Allah is asking you. It just 1 to 2 rak'ahs, 15 minutes, only 15 minutes before Fajr prayer, and you will find the response from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be there for people. Allow people to turn to you and offer them your help. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned the best of people are those that bring most benefit to the rest of mankind. Turning to Allah with all our needs shouldn't negate striving and using the physical means around us. Turning to As-Samad is recognizing where all physical means come from. This is very important. When I'm asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about something to be achieved in my life, I have to do my best in the means. And while I am doing the means, I put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in my heart, and he is the one to causation. He is the cause, he is the direct cause, the first cause that all my means come to a success or come to a powerful end, inshallah. And that they can only work with the help of Allah. Turning to Allah, asking Allah, and at the same time do the best, do your best. And finally, we always inshallah turn to As-Samad for all of our needs. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these difficult days that passing through all of us to grant us the patience and grant us more mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and forgiveness, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always grant us the favor of his remembering, and from remembrance of Allah, prayers and reading Quran, the Azkar al-Sabah wal-Masa, the evening and the morning adhkar is very important, my sisters. Also the dua to protect us and protect our families. This is very important. Surah Al-Baqarah is very important to be recited in every 3 days in our house. All these things will help us to have a better mood, make sadness, make fear, make all anxiety to be out of our houses, inshallah. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always meet you in a better and the best mood. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.